Like, we understand that it's going to be hard. Like, nothing worth having is easy. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, when we get into these measures, even going back to what we do, we work with these young boys. Everybody's dealing with something. You get what I'm saying? You come with a group that everybody's dealing with something. So when we put these measures front, even we out there running. So today, we're running because something they did. If you're giving up on yourself, if you want somebody to feel sorry for you, like, this is life, bro. Ain't nobody gonna feel sorry for you. You're in this situation because of you. In most situations that we talk about, anybody that gets in something that you're trying to do something, you're in a situation, you put yourself, this is something you sought out. But when it gets hard, everybody, the first instinct is to give up. You get what I'm saying? That whole thing. So I have a hard time understanding. That's what gets me in trouble a lot, especially in my, with my relationship, because I don't have a lot of understanding. It is hard for me to relate with that. Welcome, world. Welcome, family, to another episode of the EL2A Podcast. I'm your host, Jamie Gilmore Jr. To right of me, we got Mr. Military Man, Mr. Myles. How you feeling today, bro?
Feeling pretty good today.
Love it. I love it. To the right of him, we got the Rocket, the highest 7 hills, Mr. Eddie Rock. How you feeling today, bro?
Feeling pretty good, man.
Another day, another dollar, y'all, man. So we already in July. First week of July, 4th of July this week. Obviously, you'll be hearing this the following week. But what I want to get to is that the year's halfway through, man. So how y'all feeling with the year halfway through? You start the year off, everybody has their New Year goals. Everybody's so energized. Everybody is like at that peak of what they're going to do for this year. Now we at the halftime where we can really pause and be able to check. Okay, the things that I said I was going to do at the top of the year, have I done it? And am I in line to where I'm pretty sure we did something like that on here. So we actually could go back if we wanted to, but I don't even know what I said then, so I ain't going to act like I do. But for y'all, we spin around both of y'all. Do you feel like you're aligned with what you said you were going to do at the beginning of the year? If not, why not? If so, how so?
I'll go first. Am I aligned with it? Yes. I think because I was talking about real estate, I believe, at the beginning. As far as that, I'm in line with it. It's the second half. And that's something that at the brokerage we were talking about. So as far as those goals, I feel like now it's time to go hard. And I can see the shift from, trying to figure it out at the first half, trying to figure out where I wanted to go, and now I see where I'm going. So now I'm hitting that hard. Family wise, I think we still kicking it. We still, things going good, and then with the organization, summer going good. So hey, I think along those lines, everything's going as planned.
What's up, bro? Come on.
Yeah, everything's going according to just kind of the plan that just we spoke about back the last time we talked about it. So actually put a lot of the ideas and concepts into action. Completed some of them, on track to complete some of the other goals that I had presented or that I came up with. So it's everything's on track.
And I think that's a beautiful thing. I just want to talk. This isn't playing. I just thought about it as you're saying it. There's something about setting a goal and accomplishing it. And it does something to a human being. It does something to you when you're able to say. So, for example, in the beginning of the year, say, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and be able to be at this point of your life or be at this point of the year and look back and say, I've done what I said I was going to do. For me, that is still so much confidence because I built, and this is not no cocky, this is the truth, a long history of doing what I said I was going to do and being able to set and feel accomplished because it pushes me forward. Now I'm looking at, so the way you feel, the way you feel right now, it's excitement. You feel like, okay, I can't wait till the next 3 years to be able to be asked this again at the end of the year and be able to say I've done more. But for the person that had it, what do you think that person's feeling right now? Right now, the person that had it, they're at the top of the year and they nothing they say they were going to do, they haven't done. That person right now is somewhere feeling disappointed, feel like they're worthless and all those different things. If that allows a person to be like, why not? I'm going to wait till next year. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So it's power in being able to accomplish goals because now it pushes you forward. Now you got so much motivation. You got everything you need to keep going. But the person that don't. The funny thing about it, you would think it could be flip-flop. Like a person that's comfortable, like, okay, I could chill a little bit. You know what I mean? And the person that hasn't done that, you think they will push forward and want to get their good wheels going even more to be able to compass the goal. But most of the time it's not. So why do you think most people do that? Why do we live in a world to where it's so easy to give up and say, let's just focus on next year? Why do we live in a world that the person that's being able to say that they've done what they need to do, that they're more vision or focused on where they're going, and the person that's not, it's easy to just rope it off, say, hey, bump it, I just go to next year?
I think it's just learned behavior. I mean, it's just like a kid or we try to coaches talk about, practice. We practice so that when we practice now, then that way when we get in the game, it's easy. And as a kid, at a young age, you never really realize, like, man, coach, you just got me running. Like, we doing too much running. And then until you get into the playoffs, and then you see that, okay, all this conditioning really did pay off. So now we're more, we got longer win than the other team. And I think as you get older, I mean, I just think back as a man, at a younger age, more immature, so to speak. So being 23, 24 years old, you know, there's certain things, certain goals that weren't hit, and that I knew I wanted to do. And to your point, it's like, I might as well try again next year because there's no point of doing it. But then now as you start building that credibility, and now you're building that muscle memory of accomplish those little things. And I think we spoke about it before on the podcast where and I'm speaking from a man's standpoint, and it may be women too, but as a man, there's certain things that we shoot for the sky, we shoot for the stars, and sometimes the goals are so far-fetched that if we don't think we're heading in that direction, to us, it's like we're not accomplishing anything. So as for me, as I got older, it's like, okay, now I got to take those small wins and take those to continue to build myself up. So, and I, just was talking about real estate, and the first 3 or 4 months, I remember having a conversation with somebody, like, after everything that we talked about on stage, even though my mind was set to, like, okay, I want to have so many deals and make so much money, I was like, all right, but it's not happening. You know what I'm saying? And there was a moment where I did, and I think it's just natural for anybody. It was a moment I was like, okay, is this even for me? But then I have to think back to everything that I put into it in order to even get in position to do what I said I wanted to do. Now that builds me, that gives me the motivation that I needed to continue to push through. And now when, something big happened, as like selling the first house, that's the momentum that I needed. So that's what I'm saying for the second part of the year. Now I just got to feed off that momentum that's been built from the top of the year up until now.
Yeah. So how does that even creep in? So I'm glad you brought that up. You said there was a moment to where when you felt like, is this even for me? So if you jumped into something, you spent the money, you spent the time to get into it, to do it, to seek it out, and in that moment, that ambitious person that was there, how does that ambitious person get to a point of that journey to where they question, is this even for me? So what allows that to happen?
I guess failure, being afraid to fail, or not even really being afraid to fail, just knowing you got other people looking up to you to succeed. So at that point when it's like, I'm trying to do everything that I can to show others, show my family, show, the people that, I may not know them per se, but there's certain people that's looking at me to succeed. And then that moment is like, okay, man, I'm not getting over that hump. I'm not going over that hill to show that success. Now I may become a failure to them, and I may stunt their growth. So those thoughts, thinking about how other people may feel when they're looking for you to be that person to say, I can do it too. That's when those moments start creeping in. But at the same time, I had to use that as, okay, at the end of the day, I'm not there yet, but I know that there's somebody depending on me to cross that threshold. That was that little bit that I need. I mean, even down back to back to the kids, like, Dad, you still haven't sold the house yet? Dad, you still haven't sold the house yet? So those were those moments, like, hey, you showed another house and they didn't buy it. And, I'm thinking that, like, I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to do. I'm going to the showings. I'm, talking to the customers and to the clients and things like that. And it's not happening. So, I want to see a smile on their face. Those moments that I got to say, no, I ain't selling yet. Oh man, I was like, dang, I still, it's not failure, but I didn't say I sold it for them to be all excited. And then, I just have to use those moments to say, okay, I do want to see that. I want to feel how I know they're going to make me feel being excited about their dad doing something successful. So I really think that's just what it is, just being afraid to fail.
Yeah. And I think when I bring that up, because I think a lot of people get to that point, but they get to the point to where it's the weight of whatever they're doing, it gets a little heavy, and they decide to, like, this is too much. They go the other way, or they just get lost. It may take some time off, or however that goes. And I think some people don't come back from that. But to know, so you push through, and there's millions of stories. No matter who you look up to, I'm pretty sure I can ask you right now if a story is somebody that you look up to that motivates you. The story always ends, I pushed through, I went homeless, I did something, and I went to and then I kept through and I kept going. So at the end of the day, the secret sauce is to never give up. To never give up is a secret sauce. So it's right in front of my face. There's no success story that don't. I'll tell you, you can't think of anybody right now that has that successful that didn't have a story of I pushed through something. You know what I'm saying? So if we know that, I want to know, why do people give up? And even thinking even about yourself, Brother Myles, to your point. So you said you was able to set out a role plan to now that you're on track. What are some things that allowed you? So what has allowed you to be successful to this point to where you're being able to hit these points and be on track to be halfway through the year and say, I've been doing what I've done, what I was supposed to do. I'm sorry.
So I understand that just because I have a roadmap doesn't mean that I'm free to not be versatile. You know, that's the thing. You can have a roadmap all day long saying, hey, I should be able to go from point A to B, but that's not reality. So you have to understand that there's times, even though you have a solid plan on paper, you still have to be versatile. There is no perfect plan. And if you truly understand that, you don't get caught up in the dynamics of how you get from point A to point B. You simply see that I went from point A to B. That was the goal. The journey in between really doesn't really matter as long as there's forward progress. And so that's how I deal with it, because I know, especially with the things that I do, it's already going to be tough because just the nature of it. You're dealing with people, you're dealing with communities that are complex. There's nothing easy about it. So things are going to change. Like we said before on previous podcasts, you know, you got to be willing to roll those punches. I think sometimes people get too rigid. You know, they get too rigid in the way they operate and think that, okay, I came up with this game plan, so I had to follow it to the T. And if there's one deviation, that's when the person started letting those doubts creep in. They start second guessing themselves, all that type of thing. At the end of the day, you got to remember, no one promised you it was easy. No one promised it was going to be a smooth ride, anything like that. So you have to know that the hits, the obstacles, all those things are going to come. And you just got to dig deep. It sounds cliche, but it's the truth. Otherwise, you get in your own head and then you talk yourself out of stuff.
Now, it's funny, man, because as we sit here, man, I kind of get lost for words because I have a hard time, I guess, I ain't gonna say I hate to say understand it, but just getting some people when we even talk about giving up. So like I hear you just say the hard times and all those different things, and I just said that before. Everybody's being able to be through these hardships. Like, we understand that it's going to be hard. Like, nothing worth having is easy. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, when we get into these measures, even going back to what we do, we work with these young boys. Everybody's dealing with something. You get what I'm saying? You come with a group that everybody's dealing with something. So when we put these measures front, even we out there running. So today, we're running because something they did. If you're giving up on yourself, if you want somebody to feel sorry for you, like, this is life, bro. Ain't nobody gonna feel sorry for you. You're in this situation because of you. In the most situations that we talk about, anybody that gets in something that you're trying to do something, you're in a situation, you put yourself, this is something you sought out. But when it gets hard, everybody, the first instinct is to give up. You get what I'm saying? That whole thing. So I have a hard time understanding. That's what gets me in trouble a lot, especially in my, with my relationship, because I don't have a lot of understanding. It is hard for me to relate with that. But that's kind of why I really wanted to have this conversation. But I think this is more important talking about the halftime. And I kind of even want to go to my football days. So I kind of want to give a football analogy. So just stick with me. So in a football game, you come up with a scheme. We're playing whoever today. Again, you're playing real estate. You're playing the community. We set out a game. We're going XYZ. This is the game plan. The offense is running this formation. The defense is doing this formation. Ready, break. We get in the game. You just said some things are going to change. Sometimes the defense, I didn't know y'all was going to be running cover 3. I thought you was running cover 2. We got to adjust. We got to make in-game adjustments. Now we get to the point to where we at. Okay, we halftime. You guys just said you're doing good. So you are ahead of the game. So you're winning the game right now. For somebody else, they may be losing the game at this point right now. So at halftime, what is halftime? Halftime is a time for us to come in, regroup, calm the nerves. The defense go over there, the offense go over there. We all be able to, again, to come back out and strategize. I say that to say, because this is an important time for you. The game is not over. You still have a lot of time on the clock. You get what I'm saying? You still got 2 more quarters left to be able, anything that happened in the first half, it happened. You could be down 60-0. It doesn't matter. Whatever, the game ain't over till the fat lady sings. Until the clock hits 0, the game isn't over. So you still have time to be able to make this thing right. So if you're down, what you need to do right now at this point of your time, sit down and be able to draw. So now I want to be able to show people, like, what are some things a person can do? So if I'm a person that's lost right now, the game hasn't been going how I want it. but I need to know, okay, what do I do now? What is something I could do? What are some tips that you guys can give me right now, something I could do to be able to make sure by the next 2 quarters that I'm able to take advantage of the next 2 quarters?
We say it all the time. It's about, you got to go back and self-assess or assess what your year was supposed to be like this year, what you wanted it to be. I think that's the first thing, being able to see where you wanted to go and where you are now. The big thing is, did you start to even head in that direction of winning or accomplishing the goals that you wanted to accomplish? That's first thing first. And then I think the biggest thing are those little wins. Like those little wins are going to help you achieve the big end goal by the end of the year. And even if you don't reach the overall goal, a saving goal of 50,000, but you get 20,000 or 25,000, you got halfway there. That's a good start for 2025. I think the most important thing is, again, did you start and how did you finish? And that second half, it is just that moment for you just to reevaluate the how-tos. What am I doing in order to get there? Like, do I need to, like you say, strategize? Do I need to change up how, for me, do I need to change up how I'm speaking to clients? Do I need to go to more showings? What is it that I need to do in order to get more clients in and get more sales? And those are the things that you got to do with yourself. What do I need to reevaluate? What do I need to readjust or adjust in order to make this goal a reality, or at least, head in that direction?
Yeah. What you say, Brother Myles?
I would say, I'll speak, specifically to one thing I see a lot of times with that. And I would say check your friend group, your friend network. I see it too often. What ends up happening, because of the relationship you built with that person, you don't recognize their pattern flaws that they have. So if you're feeling like you're behind the 8 ball right now, you behind schedule with your goals or whatever, have you been sitting there telling, the friend group what it is your plans are? Reason why that can be dangerous is because if, let's just say for this example, the person that you're confiding in or the group that you're confiding in are people that habitually don't meet their own goals. You're telling them your lofty goal, and to them, because it is lofty and sounds big, they're cheering you on, or they say, "Hey man, you're doing enough as is. You're doing good." That's not reality.
Yeah.
You're not doing enough. And I see it too often. People will say, well, I'm trying to do this, and they're like, well, no, you doing good, man. But in reality, that's not true. And so you have to be careful with who you tell your goals to. Is that person really going to honor what it is that you say that you're striving for? Are they going to give you objective criticism or constructive criticism, feedback, saying, hey, look, you need to do this, you need to do that? Or is this person calling you into mediocrity? Like, you have to truly ask yourself that. Now, that doesn't mean that you got to cut that person off. It just means that that person isn't equipped to hear what your goal is per se. And that's real important when you talk about your friend groups. Like, I have certain friends that I know I can sit there and tell, 100% my goal to, because they're going to be on it, or they're going to add perspectives that I don't see for certain things. I have some friends that, again, they're not bad people or anything else, but because of, from the onset of me saying what the goal is, they already like, man, that's big. And yeah, man, now you're already doing good stuff. That's fine to hear, but you can't have that friend group exclusively just saying those types of things. Like, you have to really check them, because like I said, I see it every time. Every time people, they get excited about something that they want to set out to do, and then they just tell everything. And you have to start being cognizant of that. Now, mind you, I didn't say don't tell people. It's important to tell people what your goals are, but you have to be strategic with who you tell, because you really have to consider, is this person someone that accomplished their goals, or is it a person that loves to just talk about it? And you really have to, be mindful of that.
Yeah. And what they say, don't take advice from somebody that hasn't done anything or what you're trying to do. Is that, for example, if you're trying to be a millionaire, you can't get advice from somebody that hasn't never made $1 million. So that's what I hear what you're saying. So one thing I want to go, because this makes me think about what is our topic for the week, self-accountability. And what did I go in front of the boys yesterday and do? I dressed up in a suit. So I just want just for you guys to hear this. I dressed up in a suit because I look nice. The Deion Sanders quote, you look good, you feel good, you feel good, you play good, they pay good. So that's the most important thing. I think it comes with your confidence, making sure that you are the part. You know, you're confident, you look yourself in the mirror, okay, the thing that you're trying to do, you got to make sure this is for me. I know this is for me. This is what I'm trying to do. All right. And feel confident within doing it. The same analogy I was giving the boys, most people just show up half-stepping, like you show up not even looking the part, not even feeling the part. But so you already when you get into the environment that you're in, you already feel like you don't belong. So that's one thing, because your energy is going to be off, or you're just not going to, you're going to feel less than, you're not going to give it your all. You got to make sure you're feeling the part. But then after that, the self-accountability piece. So when you look in that mirror, it's like, am I doing what I'm supposed to do? Again, I told them it's giving 100%. We have a room full of 25 boys. That's I promise. If everybody come in this room, worry about themselves and give 100% every day, we're going to be the best. We got a term that says owning your greatness. Again, God put something in you that's very special and very unique to you. Okay, if you can look in yourself, own your greatness, and be the best version of yourself every day, what are you doing? So if it's whatever career path that you're going in, the thing that you're trying to do, research it. Go over to YouTube. We got ChatGPT. There's so many resources that you literally can't fail. Go in there and just look up something to what should I do? How can I learn more? Be inquisitive. Go on this YouTube thing, man, and be able to look up people that's doing the same that you're doing. What do they do? How can I do the same things that they're doing to be able to reach a level of success? And I promise, if you practice those things every day, when it comes to the end of the fourth quarter, you're going to be successful. And I think that's the where we got to, I think we have to take away this participation thing or the excuse thing. Like, there's no excuses. If you're in the game, we're just going to say, if you in this line, we don't want to have nothing. If you come up right, you got them clicks on, go back to my college days. I'm telling you, football is an analogy for life. If you're in the game, you can't say, well, I'm hurt, or what you want to feel for. Like they always say, the cameras are on. So when you get to that level, you playing college football, they say the cameras on you at all the time. Nobody cares about if you hurt. Nobody cares that your mom just died. Nobody cares that anything happened. Whatever you put on this film, it goes to the people, and that's it. There's no level of me being able to explain, well, you know, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed that day. Well, this was going on at home. Nobody wants to hear that. And I think if we're able to get, again, I was listening to E.T. this morning on my run. He was doing a motivational speech, and he was like, you don't got forever. Like, that was his speech. He was like, man, we live for forever. He gave the analogy of his grandmother is 93 years old and she was going to the doctor. He was like, most people get to that age. He was like, they get to the little spiritual boy. They be like, I lived a long life. And he said, his grandma was like, no, hey, doctor, whatever you got to do to make sure I leave here, make sure you do it. But we got to have that type of energy when it comes to life. Like, you can't just give up. We got to keep going. And I think once we're able to get that energy, then people will be able to go forward, man. So I like where we're going right now. I really don't want to spend it because I like what we just had. It's a good point to where we at right now at today's time. All right. We at the halftime. We started at the beginning of the year. We gave our goals. So we got some weight right now. So for you all that's watching, I hope you were able to take something that we gave today, man. We got literally halftime. We're sitting here, even as a collective. I know everybody individually gave their thing, but collectively as a group, with what we're doing with our boys, we're in our summer program, man, and we focus on exposure. So introducing them people to things that they don't have access to. We got a group of kids that came into this environment. We literally week 5, halfway through the summer, and I mean, they've been giving it all. We've seen growth. We've seen boys. Our physical fitness is something that we focus on big. We're doing communication because on July 26th, we're going to have our end of the summer banquet. And we're just preparing these boys for life, through the experiences that we're giving them. But we also pair them with the do for self mentality. So this goes back to what I'm telling you. When it comes to the self accountability, the do for self mentality tells that I know that no one's coming to save me. I have to be the reason that I succeed. I can't look. And even for these boys, again, they are at the age to where, they have caretakers, their parents can take care of them, but I still want them to put them in a mindset like this ends. This has an expiration date. Like this is going to be a time where a flip has to switch. A switch has to flip, and I know that I'm have to take care of myself. And I even want them to think about that now. I've been in that mentality. And then for everybody watching this right now at this halftime point, just knowing that it's on you, putting the weight roll on your shoulder and just making it happen. So, and that's really all I have. Coach, y'all got anything y'all want to spend? I mean, just again back to just being in the halftime, mid-time point. We got a bunch of people that's been supporting us and watching us. So, anything y'all want to give just for the halftime?
Just don't give up, man. Hey, it may look like you're not going to accomplish the goal or a goal. Take those little wins. The little wins will help you get to the big one.
How about yourself, Brother Myles?
Just make sure that that you make sure that your discipline is being fortified, because that's the make or break. You have to be disciplined in every way, spiritually, emotionally, physically. Take care of yourself and stay on top of it.
And same for me, man. I kind of want to spend the same. Like, just know it's in you. I promise you, you got it in you. The thing that you're trying to do, everything you need is within. So many times we look outside of what we have the tools that we need. The superhero. Everybody wants to be the Superman, want to be the different thing, not knowing we got a superpower within us. And you got to be able to look in and tap within that's already inside of you. So stop looking outside, looking for answers, going to ask your friends, or going to ask this person, going to ask mom. Why you have it within you. Just take time, be quiet, be still. Ask yourself, talk to yourself, and be able to bring those things out, those skills. I promise you'll be able to get it done. So if I had anything, I say, man, just be still and know that goal that you're trying to get, that with the end goal in fourth quarter when you're trying to win the game. Everything you need to win the game is what's inside of you. So don't look. So what I need you to do right now, I need you to smash that like button, because that's inside of you as well. All right, smash the like button, subscribe button, and also make sure you comment. Again, man, this podcast, I don't even know how many we've been going for a while, coming up on a year's time, and we're going to continue to grow. So you that watch this, we don't take it lightly, but just, you continue to watch. Keep watching, keep subscribing, commenting if you haven't already. I challenge you right now, send this to 3 of your friends. I need you to send this to 3 of your friends. Send it to them and make sure they're watching it. Again, just send awareness. Just say halftime. Say halftime right now. Put that in the comments. Say halftime. Send it to your friends and say halftime, because that's where we're at. And sometimes you need that awakening. You just need that alarm clock to ring, so you can already bring it to your awareness. Okay, we're at the halftime. And again, you don't have for forever. Again, we all have an expiration date. And again, I don't want to get morbid, but it's serious. We don't have forever. Stop waiting. Stop wasting time. You get what I'm saying? We live life sometimes like we got forever. Like there's no end to this thing. We're here for, not a long time, but for a good time. So making sure that you're able to live the life that you want to live and do the things you want to do. Do things that you want to do. I'm never short of saying, man, I want to be able to create and be able to make as much money, but this is just not for me. It's to help. It's to help my community, help the young man that we serve, man. So I just want everybody to be the same, be fruitful, win, own your greatness, and be the best you can be. All right, if y'all got nothing else, all right, we out of here. We'll see y'all next week.